Yo, what's going on, guys? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. So, Jose Aldo just made his boxing debut and looked pretty dominant in a unanimous victory for him on the judges' scorecards. So, he's going to be going up against Jeremy Stephens, a former opponent and longtime 145er in the UFC. These two faced off against each other in 2018, and it was actually Jose Aldo's first three-round fight of his entire UFC career. He won via body KO in the late first round. I just watched the fight. It was actually a really fun, entertaining fight. It was kind of one of those phone booth fights where the guys just kind of trade in the pocket the entire fight, and I thought this fight was really good to watch in preparation of their boxing fight because, for the most part, Jeremy Stephens threw out some kicks early on in this fight. Jose Aldo, surprisingly enough, was not kick-heavy at all in this fight, outside of a body kick or two. But it was mostly a boxing fight, so watching this Jose Aldo versus Jeremy Stephens fight in 2018, I think will be pretty indicative of how their fight in boxing is going to go. So Jeremy Stephens, one advantage I think he has is he's been fighting at 145 recently, whereas Jose Aldo made that weight cut to 135 and started fighting at 135. He went on that journey to try to capture the 135 gold in the UFC. Thanks for ruining that, Marab. I appreciate it. Not. But anyway, going into this boxing fight, guys, I really like Jose Aldo to win. I know that's not the sexy pick. I know people are really picking Jeremy Stephens to not win in this fight. But let me tell you not only why Jose Aldo will win, but why I think Jeremy Stephens will have some early on success. So Jeremy Stephens is a guy who loves his boxing. I think he's probably been boxing just as long of a time as Jose Aldo, if not more. I wouldn't be surprised if training camp by training camp, when they were going on their UFC runs, that Jeremy Stephens was more boxing heavy than Jose Aldo was in his camps in any given fight. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy Stephens not only had that weight advantage like I just talked about, but had that boxing experience advantage. But looking at their fight in 2018, Jeremy Stephens came out extremely aggressive with his lead jab, really on his front foot, trying to walk down Jose Aldo. By the end of that first round, 3-4 minutes in, it was Jose Aldo walking down Jeremy Stephens, and here's why. First off, Jose Aldo's head movement is absolutely insane. No offense to Jeremy Stephens, but Jeremy Stephens' head movement is just nothing like Jose Aldo's. Just the entire fight, Jeremy Stephens was trying to pepper him with the jab, trying to pepper him with a left lead hand body hook, and then he would try to go over the top with that overhand right. Man, Jose Aldo would just roll with those punches so well. At one point in the fight, Jeremy Stephens actually stunned Jose Aldo with a really nice right hook, but Jose Aldo stayed calm. He started walking down Jeremy Stephens a little bit. I think one of the maybe downfalls of Jose Aldo and why he lost those Max Holloway fights is because he'd get hit with a couple shots and his ego would kind of set in terms of, hey man, I'm a better fighter than you. I'm going to start walking you down. In some fights, this would be a disadvantage, but for me, this is a very good advantage against Jeremy Stephens to have because Jeremy Stephens is a guy who's so powerful, so explosive. So when he lands a couple big shots on someone, he's going for the finish. And I think Jose Aldo's head movement is good enough to the point where Jeremy Stephens has a really nice round one. He has a really nice round two, but Jeremy Stephens is going to keep walking forward on his front foot, and he's going to gas. That's the issue with Jeremy Stephens. He hits really hard, but in the second, third round, not that he doesn't carry that power over to the later rounds and the later moments of the fight, he just kind of gasses out and has that adrenaline dump, and that's not something that Jose Aldo does. He's someone who is used to fighting 5-round fights his entire career. Another advantage I like with Jose Aldo. His speed, his striking speed is absolutely incredible. Again, I don't know if he hits pound for pound harder than Jeremy Stephens, but man, I like him to knock him out over Jeremy Stephens knocking Jose Aldo out because of that speed, because of that precision. In the UFC, whether it be leg kicks, whether it be body shots, or whether it be headshots, it seems as though Jose Aldo's game plan is to go low, go low, go low for the first round or the first half of the first round, or go high, go high, go high, keep going for the head, and then he rips the body. That's the thing about this Jeremy Stephens Jose Aldo fight when they fought in 2018, is in the first 3 minutes of the fight, Jose Aldo basically threw no leg kicks, no shots to the body, was just jab straight, left hook, right hook, was just attacking the head. And Jeremy Stephens, his guard went from a low guard to, by the time there's 3 minutes left in the first round, his guard was completely high. His guard was very high over his head, and Jose Aldo just kept feinting that headshot and then ripping the body, a left hook to the body, stunned Jeremy Stephens, put him out. I think that's going to be my prediction for this boxing fight. I think Jose Aldo is going to do okay in the first couple rounds. I could see Jeremy Stephens winning a round or two, but then I think Jose Aldo's speed, pace, endurance, conditioning, he's the lighter fighter in there. He's going to be the more conditioned fighter. He's been used to killing himself, making that weight cut at 135. He's been going into his fights really depleted. He's going to be really healthy going into this one, guys. He has a new kind of passion for the sport. He has a new challenge in his life, which is boxing. He's going to go in there, again, outpace Jeremy Stephens over a couple rounds and then find that body shot KO.